Okay, so you should now have your O7 working file open, and what I want you to do is I want you to turn on the rulers, so you can go view rulers or Command R. And there we go. Now double click on the ruler up here and make sure that the ruler is set to inches. And we're going to say okay, good. Then what I also want to do is go up to view and make sure that snap is turned on. Snap. All right, super. Then drag a vertical guide from the left ruler. So you hover your mouse over top of the left ruler here and you just click and drag. And I want you to go all the way over to 4.25. That's this guy right here. See how it says 4.250 inches? You let go. Awesome. That's, by the way, 4.25 is halfway across your document. That's smack down the middle, because you know that this document is 8.5 inches long. Half of 8.5 is 4.25. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a point type. So what I want you to do is select the background layer in the Layers panel. Okay. And I want you to select the horizontal type tool in the options bar. So you hit the letter T. And you need to make sure that it's the horizontal one. That's this one right here on top. And then I want you to do the following. Choose a serif typeface, such as Minion Pro Regular. All right, so how are we going to do that? Well, to begin with, actually what I want you to make sure that you do is I want you to change the way that this all looks. And so we're going to see over here on the top, we're going to click on it and pick graphic and web. Okay? And I'm actually going to reset for me graphic and web. So that way we're all looking at the same thing. Then we don't really want to be in libraries. Click on properties right here. That'll be good. Awesome. That way we're all looking at the same stuff. Super. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click here on fonts, and I want you to pick Minion Pro Regular. So Minion Pro Regular. Just start typing in Minion. There it is, and I'm going to pick that for now. And I want the type to be 144 points. So you click in here, 144. I'm actually just going to hit the tab button and it jumps across next to this guy right here, which is the leading. By the way, if you hover your mouse over top, it tells you what each of these guys are for the font. I'm going to show you what they are once we actually have a font in, once we have some text in there. So click the center text button. Right. And you may find that actually over here, right up there. So we're going to go center text, which is actually over here, right up here on the top. Awesome. Then we're going to go back over here to the right again, and we're going to change the tracking value to 100. Okay, so if you hover over top of this, you'll see tracking. Great. So 100. Super. Okay, so the tracking value specifies the overall space between the letters, and that affects the density in a line of text. Click where the center guide you added meets her forehead at the insertion point. So right in here, see in there, I'm going to click where they meet. Boom. There it is. And it automatically adds in either Latin or gibberish. I haven't figured out which one it is. I don't speak Latin terribly well. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to type the word digital in all capital letters. So I turn on my caps lock, digital. All right. And then we're going to commit that by either hitting the enter key, not the return key, the enter key. If you don't have an enter key, you can always just click on this guy. On some people's keyboards, if you hold down the function key and then hit return, then that's also enter. A lot of people don't know there's a difference between the two. Okay, so we now have digital. Now don't worry if the word digital is not in black. If it's in white or whatever, totally fine. We're going to actually change the color in a little bit. And so now what I want to do is, the textbook actually says double click on the word digital. I don't want to do that. I actually just want to click over here in the layer of digital. And here's the reason why. I want you to open the font menu in the options bar. Actually, I'm going to go over here onto the top right, just because I like to play over here on the right-hand side. And play around with this. Move it around, and you will see that it changes the words and shows you all these different fonts. And within each one of these fonts, well, many of these fonts, I should say, you've got also a little arrow that you can click on, and you've got even more choices in there. Some of them have a crazy number of choices, like this one right here. All sorts. My goodness, look at all of that. So now everybody's is going to be a little bit different based on what fonts they have installed on their computer. Okay, so I want you to also play around with these filter settings right here. So you'll notice, for instance, that you can pick only serif fonts, for instance, right here. So you can see that that's got serif fonts have all those little things added onto the ends, right? Now if you go to sans serif, that means without serif, and you will see that those guys don't have little things onto the end of all of the letters. Play around. You got script, black letter, monospace, handwritten. Okay, some really neat stuff. Okay, I'm going back to all classes. Keep in mind over here you've got you can be shown all of your Adobe fonts, because you might have some fonts that you've installed that are not Adobe. Here's your favorites. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit more about similar fonts later on. By the way, something that really ticks me off is the favorites. I always keep forgetting this too. Favorites that are specified on this computer are not necessarily the favorites that show up on the Adobe font website. And that always kind of ticks me off. I don't know why they don't go together. It would seem to me that they should. Let me know in the comments if it works for you, because it certainly hasn't been working for me. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to change the font to Barrhead Pro Bold. Right there. You can see. All right, so we're going to click on that. Barrhead Pro Bold. And I want you to save what you've got so far. Awesome.